Here we go with day 8 notes. The topic for this, or kind of what we're doing, is writing equations from given information. So some of these I'm going to give you pictures, and some of them I just give you kind of written information. So we're forming equations. So use the graph to write the equation of a polynomial in factored form and standard form. So factored form is when it's kind of all separated out, binomial, 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 and standard form is when we multiply it. So that day on multiplying is going to come back around. Okay, the first thing to do, kind of the easiest thing to do, is to identify the roots. Again, I said this in a video before. Roots is the same thing as zeros, is the same thing as solutions, is the same thing as x-intercepts. So just find on the graph where it crosses the x-axis. And in this picture, and mine is kind of faint, but in this picture it crosses 4 times, and I put little squiggly marks there. So I'm going to list those. The first one is at -3, then at -2, then at +1, and at +2. Okay, so what you need to do here is when you write your solution, the first one I'm going to do is factored form. I'm going to do y equals, that starts my equation, and then I'm going to do x, and I change the sign to a +3. Close it up. Then I'm going to do x plus 2. I change the sign. Then I do x minus 1. I changed the sign. And I do x minus 2. I changed the sign. This right here is factored form. Okay, all those pieces, binomial, 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 that is factored form. Okay, I'm going to scoot over to the right side here and get some more space because it also wants this in standard form. Standard form is when I'm going to multiply this out. So when I multiply this out, I can only do 2 pieces at a time. So I'm going to do the yellow pieces and I'm going to do the blue pieces. Okay, and I'm going to show my work. Oops. I'm going to show my work over here, kind of write it out. So if I do the yellow pieces, I'm foiling. I get x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6. Okay, I foiled it. And then I'm going to do the blue pieces. If I do the blue pieces, I get positive x squared minus 2x minus 1 plus 2. Plus 2. I gotta fit that in here. Okay, so I did the yellow pieces, I did the blue pieces. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and this is kind of a mess. I'm going to make sure that those are in parentheses. Okay, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. And this is just a lot of multiplying, so that's why I'm going fast. This was a previous day. So slow down and kind of take this piece by piece if you need. But let me clean this up. So I technically have x squared plus 5x plus 6. And then I have x squared minus 3x plus 2. So that was the yellow piece and the blue piece. So now I'm going to have to multiply those. This is going to get pretty long. Okay, you could do the box method if you want, but when I do this, I'm going to have, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to write small and kind of scoot over here. I'm going to have, scoot this, x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Then I'm going to have negative 3x to the 3rd, and then 2x squared. Now to the 5x. I have positive 5x to the 3rd, minus 15x squared plus 10x. Now move to the 6. Positive 6x squared minus 18x plus 12. Okay, I know this is a little ridiculous one, but this is just to help you multiply through. I'm going to combine any terms that I see. So I'm going to start with descending order. So I'm going to start with x to the 4th. I'm going to cross them off as I go. Then the next one I have is negative 3x to the 3rd and positive 5x to the 3rd. I'll combine those to give me positive 2x to the 3rd. Then I see I have 2x squared minus 15x squared plus 6x squared. I believe that is going to give me, let's see, 2x squared minus 15x squared is negative 13x squared. Plus 6x squared is going to be negative 7x squared. And then I got rid of all of those pieces. Then I have 10x minus 18x, that's minus 8x. So it gets rid of those. And then I'm left with a positive 12. And that is my final answer in standard form. They're not always like that, but that is standard form. Okay, a lot of multiplying. That was I believe day 5 material. Okay, this next one. Use the equation, write in factored and standard form. Hopefully this one isn't so long. So let's see kind of what we're dealing with. You want to find the root, so where it crosses the x-axis. So it crosses basically touches twice. I put 2 little spots there. Okay, the one spot is special because do you see where I put an arrow? That spot has a bounce. That spot has a bounce. So when I go ahead and do that, when I write this, I'm going to have my first root is at negative 1, and my other root is at 2. So when I go ahead and write this, I'm going to do x plus 1, right? I switch it. And then I do x minus 2. But since there's a bounce, it gets a little exponent of 2. So this right here is factored form. We can then continue on to FOIL it to make standard form. And if we're going to FOIL this out, I'm going to go ahead and write this as x plus 1, x minus 2 times x minus 2. That means that's happening twice, right? There's 2 of those solutions. So remember, you can only do 2 pieces at a time. So let's do these yellow pieces. I'm going to multiply those. I get x squared minus 2x plus 1x minus 2. Drop down the x minus 2. Let's combine those middle terms. And once again, I'm going to scoot over as much as I can here and write some of this on the side. So I'm going to have y equals x squared minus x minus 2. And then that's going to be multiplied by x minus 2. Okay. And then I'm going to keep FOILing, keep multiplying. So when I multiply this, x squared times x is x to the third. Get some more space here. Then I'm going to have negative 2x squared. Then I'm going to have negative x squared. Then I'm going to have positive 2x. Then I'm going to have, scoot over again. Then I'm going to have negative 2x, and then I'm going to have positive 4. All I did was multiply through. And again, that was from a previous video. So now I'm just going through, and I'm going to combine the like terms. So I have x to the third minus 3x squared. The 2x and negative 2x will cancel away, and I have plus 4. And this right here, again, just clarifying, is standard form. Okay, that was from a graph. So now here's some different ones, just random information. This one, it says, write the equation factored as standard form. But this one, no picture. I just flat out give you the roots. So you can make your equation. So you could do y equals x plus 0, x minus 7, remember, do the opposite, and x plus 2, do the opposite. Okay, well, this one's a little different. X plus 0, you don't need that 0. So you could actually clean this up and just put the x by itself in the front. That looks really nice. This would be considered factored form. And then let's do standard form. So when I do standard form, I'm going to scroll down so you can see way better. I'm going to go ahead and multiply those binomials. So I'm going to have y equals, x will stay in the front. Let's see what we get. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. Negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. Let's combine these middle guys. So I have y equals x times x squared minus 5x minus 14. The only thing I have to do now is distribute the x in the front. Y equals x to the third minus 5x squared minus 14x. And that would be my answer for standard form. So to get to that standard form, you just have multiplying to do. Okay, let's do another one. Write the equation of the polynomial, factored form, and standard form. I give you the roots. So no graph, I just give you the roots, the solution. So when I write this, I have y equals x minus 5. Remember to switch it, flip it, and then x plus 3. That's it. So that's my factored form. And when I want to get my standard form, all I do is FOIL it. So when I FOIL this or multiply it, I get x squared plus 3x minus 5x minus 15. I'm going to combine those middle terms. So when I write my answer, I have y equals x squared minus 2x minus 15. And this right here, that boxed answer is standard form. Okay, the last thing here says write the equation of the polynomial in factored form only. So that's kind of a nice break. It just wants factored form only. So it gives us the roots and it gives us the multiplicities. It's just like in a table format, but it's really the same thing. So the root, so let's start with y equals because I need an equation. The root is what you do the opposite of. So x and then minus 3. If it's a multiplicity of 2, that means it needs that little exponent of 2. And then the root is at 6, so I change it to a negative 6. It has a multiplicity of 1. If you want, you could put a little 1 there, but you don't have to. And then the next one is a root at negative 1, so you change it to a positive 1, and same thing. It has multiplicity of 1. If you want, you could put a little 1 there, but you don't have to. And this would be factored form. You could FOIL it out to get standard form. This one's going to be a long one like the other one. It only asks for standard form, or I'm sorry, it only asks for factored form, so I'm done.